If you're tired of growing the same old tomatoes, lettuce, and beans year after year, this list is about to completely transform your gardening game. The plants you're about to discover aren't exotic imports or designer hybrids. They're time-tested survivors that humanity has cultivated for centuries, even millennia. Many of them are more nutritious, more productive, and far easier to grow than the common vegetables filling seed catalogs today. These forgotten foods thrive in conditions that would devastate conventional crops. They survived because our ancestors needed reliable food sources, not finicky plants that demanded constant attention. If you found value in this deep dive into edible resilience, hit that like button and subscribe for more gardening wisdom that actually works in the real world. 1. Apios americana, groundnut. The American groundnut is one of North America's best-kept indigenous secrets, a climbing vine that produces chains of edible tubers underground while fixing nitrogen in your soil. Native Americans cultivated this plant for thousands of years, and it literally kept the Pilgrims alive during their first brutal winter. Yet modern gardeners have almost completely forgotten it. The vine grows vibrantly, reaching 6 to 10 feet with attractive compound leaves and clusters of fragrant chocolate maroon flowers that smell like cinnamon and roses. Underground, the plant produces strings of tubers connected like beads on a necklace, each tuber roughly 1 to 3 inches in diameter. What makes groundnut absolutely exceptional is its nutrition. These tubers contain 3 times the protein of potatoes. We're talking 15 to 17% protein content, which is extraordinary for a carbohydrate crop. They're also rich in calcium and iron. The plant thrives in moist to wet soil and actually prefers the challenging spots in your garden where drainage is poor. It's a nitrogen-fixing legume, so it improves soil while producing food. The tubers taste like a cross between potatoes and chestnuts with a nutty, slightly sweet flavor. They must be cooked, boil, roast, or fry them like potatoes. Plant tubers 3 inches deep and 12 inches apart in spring. The vines establish slowly the first year, but produce heavily in subsequent years, yielding several pounds per plant. This is a true permaculture crop that produces for decades with zero maintenance once established. 2. Camassia, Quamash, Camas. Camas was so important to Pacific Northwest indigenous peoples that wars were fought over Camas meadows. This beautiful bulb produces spectacular blue flower spikes in spring while developing sweet, nutritious bulbs underground. The plant sustained entire nations for thousands of years, yet it's virtually unknown to modern gardeners. Camas looks like a tall, elegant lily with star-shaped blue flowers on spikes reaching 2 to 3 feet. The bulbs develop slowly over several years, eventually reaching the size of small onions. The flavor of cooked camas is extraordinary, sweet and rich, described as tasting like baked pear, sweet potato, or molasses. The bulbs contain inulin, a prebiotic fiber that converts to fructose when slow roasted, creating intense sweetness. Indigenous peoples traditionally pit-roasted camas bulbs for 24 to 36 hours, creating a sweet, dark food that could be eaten immediately or dried into cakes for storage. Camas thrives in zones 3 through 8 and prefers moist soil during spring growth, then tolerates dry conditions during summer dormancy. Plant bulbs 4 inches deep and 6 inches apart in fall. The plants naturalize beautifully, spreading gradually to form meadows. This is a patient gardener's crop. Bulbs take 3 to 4 years to reach harvestable size, but once established, a camas patch produces indefinitely with zero care. The plants are also spectacular ornamentals, creating breathtaking displays of blue flowers that attract beneficial pollinators. 3. Crambe maritima, sea kale. Sea kale is a spectacular, perennial vegetable that thrives in conditions that would kill most crops. Native to European coastlines, this plant evolved to handle salt spray, poor sandy soil, and harsh maritime winds. For gardeners, this translates to a virtually indestructible vegetable that produces for 15 to 20 years with minimal care. The plant forms dramatic clumps of blue-gray foliage reaching 2 to 3 feet across, with clouds of honey-scented white flowers in spring. The entire plant is edible. Young shoots, leaves, flower buds, and even the thick taproot. The prized harvest is the blanched shoots produced in early spring. Cover plants with buckets or mound soil over them to exclude light. The shoots grow pale and tender, with a delicate flavor reminiscent of asparagus and hazelnuts. These blanched shoots were considered a delicacy in Victorian England and commanded premium prices. Sea kale thrives in zones 4 through 9 and actually prefers poor, sandy, well-draining soil. Rich soil causes rank growth and reduces production. The plant is remarkably drought-tolerant once established and requires zero fertilization. Start plants from root cuttings or crowns, spacing them 2 to 3 feet apart. Plants establish slowly but begin producing in the second year. A single plant can yield several pounds of shoots and leaves annually for decades. The deep taproot makes sea kale nearly impossible to kill and able to withstand extreme neglect. 4. Chenopodium bonus henricus, Good King Henry. Good King Henry is a perennial leafy green that's been cultivated in Europe for over 2,000 years, serving as a reliable spinach substitute long before true spinach arrived from Persia. This tough plant produces nutritious greens from early spring through fall and survives winters that would devastate conventional vegetables. The plant grows as an upright clump reaching 2 feet tall with triangular leaves similar to spinach. Young shoots emerge in early spring and can be harvested like asparagus, while leaves are available continuously throughout the growing season. What makes Good King Henry exceptional is its ability to produce in partial shade and poor soil where other greens struggle. The plant is virtually maintenance-free, requiring no fertilization and minimal water once established. It's also remarkably pest and disease resistant. The leaves taste similar to spinach with a slightly mineral, earthy flavor. They're rich in vitamins A and C, iron and calcium. Young leaves are tender and can be used fresh in salads. Mature leaves are better cooked and work beautifully in any recipe calling for spinach or chard. Plant seeds or divisions in spring, spacing plants 18 inches apart. Plants establish quickly and begin producing within weeks. Once established, Good King Henry self-seeds modestly and spreads slowly via underground rhizomes, creating productive patches that last for decades. This is a true cottage garden staple that deserves revival in modern gardens, especially for those seeking low-maintenance perennial vegetables. 5. Sium cisarum, skirret. Skirret was one of the most popular root vegetables in medieval Europe, cultivated extensively in monastery gardens and prized for its sweet, aromatic roots. Then potatoes arrived, and skirret virtually disappeared. This is tragic because skirret produces clusters of sweet, nutritious roots with virtually no care required. The plant grows as an upright clump 2 to 3 feet tall with compound leaves and clusters of small white flowers similar to parsley. Underground, it produces bundles of slender white roots, each 6 to 8 inches long and about the thickness of a pencil. The roots have a unique, complex flavor, sweet with notes of carrot, parsnip, and chestnuts. They can be eaten raw when young or cooked in any way you'd prepare carrots or parsnips. Medieval cooks boiled them with butter or roasted them in coals. Skirret thrives in zones 4 through 9 and tolerates a wide range of soil conditions, though it prefers moist, fertile ground. The plant is remarkably pest and disease resistant and produces reliably year after year with zero maintenance. Plant divisions or seeds in spring, spacing 12 inches apart. The first year produces modest roots, but established plants yield increasingly heavy harvests. Roots are harvested in fall after frost sweetens them, or left in the ground and dug as needed through winter. A single established plant produces dozens of roots annually. Divide clumps every few years to maintain vigor and spread your planting. This is a forgotten vegetable that deserves rediscovery for its unique flavor and remarkable resilience. 6. Oxalis tuberosa, oca. Oca is the second most important tuber crop in the Andes after potatoes, cultivated for over 8,000 years at elevations where few crops survive. These colorful tubers are remarkably productive and completely different from anything in conventional gardens, offering tangy, lemony flavor with vibrant colors ranging from pink to red to yellow. The plants grow as low, spreading clumps with shamrock-like leaves and small yellow flowers. The tubers develop in fall, triggered by shortening day length, and can be pink, red, orange, yellow, or white, with glossy, translucent skin. Oca has a distinctive tangy flavor from oxalic acid content. Imagine potatoes with a citrus zing. The tubers can be eaten raw when young or cooked like potatoes. Many varieties become sweeter when exposed to sunlight after harvest, as UV light breaks down oxalic acid. The plant thrives in zones 7 through 10 and prefers cool temperatures and consistent moisture. It's remarkably pest and disease resistant and produces reliably even in challenging conditions. Oca actually prefers poor to moderate soil fertility. Plant tubers 4 inches deep and 12 inches apart in spring after frost danger passes. The plants grow steadily through summer, then produce tubers prolifically in fall. Harvest after foliage dies back, typically after the first frost. Single tuber planted in spring can produce several pounds of new tubers by fall. The yields are extraordinary. Some varieties produce 10 to 20 times the weight of planted tubers. This is a South American treasure that deserves much wider cultivation. 7. Tropaeolum tuberosum, mashua. Mashua is one of the most productive tuber crops on Earth, capable of yielding over 10 pounds per plant in a single season. Cultivated in the Andes for thousands of years, mashua produces abundantly at high elevations in poor soil with minimal care. The plant is also spectacularly beautiful, with trailing vines and brilliant orange-red flowers. The vines are vigorous, climbing or trailing 6 to 10 feet with round leaves and tubular flowers that bloom prolifically. The tubers develop in fall and can be white, yellow, red, or purple with distinctive cone shapes and smooth skin. Mashua has a unique, pungent flavor when raw, strongly aromatic with notes of radish and nasturtium. Cooking mellows the flavor considerably, and traditional preparation involves exposing tubers to sunlight for several days, then cooking them multiple times with water changes to reduce pungency. The plant thrives in zones 7 through 10 and produces best with cool nights and moderate temperatures. It tolerates poor soil and requires minimal fertilization. The vines are remarkably pest-resistant. Mashua actually repels many garden pests with its pungent compounds. Plant tubers 4 inches deep and 18 inches apart in spring. The vines grow vigorously through summer, then produce tubers heavily in fall as days shorten. Harvest after frost kills the foliage. The productivity is staggering. Yields of 10 to 15 pounds per plant are common with good growing conditions. This makes mashua one of the most calorie-productive crops available. The flowers are also edible and add spectacular color to salads. 8. Stachys affinis, Chinese artichoke. Chinese artichoke produces some of the most unusual and delicious tubers you'll ever grow. Small, segmented, pearly white tubers that look like caterpillars but taste like artichoke hearts crossed with water chestnuts. This crop has been cultivated in Asia for centuries and deserves much wider recognition for its unique flavor and remarkable ease of cultivation. The plants grow as low clumps reaching 18 inches tall with textured leaves and spikes of small pink flowers. Underground, they produce chains of small tubers, each about 2 to 3 inches long and segmented like beads. The tubers have a crisp, crunchy texture when raw and remain slightly crisp even when cooked. The flavor is delicate and nutty with sweet, artichoke-like notes. They can be eaten raw, stir-fried, pickled, or added to soups and stews. No peeling required, just rinse and use. Chinese artichoke thrives in zones 5 through 9 and grows in virtually any soil. The plant requires minimal care and no fertilization. It's remarkably pest and disease resistant and spreads enthusiastically once established. Plant tubers 3 inches deep and 12 inches apart in spring. The plants establish quickly and produce tubers by fall. Harvest after frost or leave tubers in the ground and dig as needed through winter. A single tuber can produce several dozen new tubers by season's end. The plants spread vigorously, so contain them or plant where spreading is acceptable. This is a unique crop that always generates conversation and culinary excitement. 9. Cinara cardunculus, cardoon. Cardoon is the wild ancestor of the artichoke, grown for its thick, celery-like leaf stalks rather than flower buds. This dramatic plant was a staple in Mediterranean gardens for thousands of years and remains popular in Italian, Spanish, and North African cuisines. The architectural presence alone makes cardoon worth growing, but the edible stalks are the real treasure. The plants are massive and spectacular, forming clumps 4 to 6 feet tall and equally wide, with deeply divided silver-gray leaves and enormous purple thistle flowers. The presence is almost prehistoric. These plants command attention in any garden. The leaf stalks are harvested in fall after blanching to reduce bitterness. Traditional methods involve wrapping stalks with paper or cloth to exclude light for several weeks before harvest. Blanched stalks have a complex artichoke-like flavor with hints of celery and almonds. Cardoon thrives in zones 7 through 10 and actually prefers hot, dry conditions once established. The deep taproot makes it remarkably drought-tolerant. The plant also tolerates poor soil and needs minimal fertilization. Start seeds indoors in early spring or direct sow after frost danger passes. Space plants 3 to 4 feet apart as they grow massive. The first year produces smaller plants, but established plants are incredibly productive. The leaf stalks are peeled, trimmed, and cooked, typically boiled, then sautéed, fried, or baked in gratins. The flavor is sophisticated and worth the preparation effort. The flowers also attract beneficial insects and can be dried for arrangements. This is a permaculture crop that produces for many years with minimal care. 10. Cyperus esculentus, tiger nut. Tiger nuts aren't nuts at all. They're small tubers produced by sedge grass that's been cultivated around the Mediterranean and in Africa for over 4,000 years. These sweet, nutty tubers are remarkably nutritious and productive, thriving in conditions that challenge conventional crops. They're also the source of horchata, the popular Spanish beverage. The plant grows as a grass-like clump reaching 2 to 3 feet tall with narrow leaves and insignificant flowers. Underground, it produces hundreds of small, round tubers about the size of chickpeas with wrinkled brown skin. Tiger nuts taste sweet and nutty with a flavor reminiscent of almonds and coconut. They can be eaten raw after soaking, roasted like nuts, or ground into flour. The tubers are extraordinarily nutritious, high in fiber, healthy fats and minerals, particularly magnesium and potassium. The plant thrives in zones 8 through 11 and tolerates a wide range of conditions, from wet to relatively dry soil. It's remarkably productive, with a single tuber producing hundreds by season's end. This productivity is why tiger nut is considered invasive in some regions. Plant it where spreading is acceptable or in contained areas. Plant tubers 2 inches deep and 6 inches apart in spring after soil warms. The plants establish quickly and grow steadily through summer. Harvest in fall after foliage dies back by lifting entire clumps and sifting through soil for tubers. The yields are staggering, several pounds from a small planting. Tiger nuts store for months when dried. This is an ancient crop with modern superfood status that deserves cultivation in appropriate settings. 11. Bunaeus orientalis, Turkish rocket. Turkish rocket is a perennial brassica that produces edible leaves, flower buds, and seeds with virtually zero maintenance. Native to Eastern Europe and Western Asia, this plant naturalizes enthusiastically and provides harvests from early spring through fall. It's one of the most productive and resilient perennial vegetables available. The plant grows as a rosette of leaves in spring, then sends up flowering stalks reaching 3 to 4 feet tall, covered with small yellow flowers. The leaves are deeply lobed and slightly rough-textured, similar to other brassicas. Young leaves have a pleasant, mild mustard flavor and can be used fresh in salads or cooked like kale. The flower buds can be harvested and prepared like broccoli rabe, with a mild, slightly nutty flavor. The seeds are edible and pungent, traditionally used as a mustard substitute. Turkish rocket thrives in zones 3 through 8 and grows in virtually any soil. It tolerates drought, poor fertility, and neglect remarkably well. The plant self-seeds enthusiastically and spreads via root fragments, creating productive patches that expand over time. Plant seeds in spring or fall, or transplant divisions from established plants. Once established, Turkish rocket requires zero maintenance and produces for decades. The plants are also attractive to beneficial insects and help support pollinator populations. This is a true permaculture crop that keeps giving year after year. The spreading nature means it's best planted where naturalization is acceptable or in contained areas. For those seeking ultra-low maintenance perennial vegetables, Turkish rocket is hard to beat. 12. Claytonia perfoliata, miner's lettuce. Miner's lettuce got its name from California gold rush miners who ate it to prevent scurvy, recognizing its high vitamin C content. This charming annual green naturalizes beautifully in cool climates and provides fresh salads from late winter through spring when little else is available. The circular leaves with flowers emerging from their centers make it instantly recognizable. The plants grow low and spreading with distinctive round leaves that appear to have stems growing through their centers. Small white or pink flowers emerge from the center of these leaves. The entire plant is tender and edible. Miner's lettuce has a mild, pleasant flavor similar to lettuce with slight minerality. The texture is succulent and refreshing. Young plants can be harvested whole or individual leaves picked from larger plants. It's excellent fresh in salads, on sandwiches, or briefly wilted. The plant thrives in zones 3 through 9 and prefers cool temperatures and partial shade. It self-seeds prolifically and will naturalize in moist, shaded areas. Miner's lettuce actually performs best in the cool seasons when conventional lettuce bolts or struggles. Scatter seeds in fall or early spring in areas with dappled shade and consistent moisture. The plants establish quickly and begin producing within weeks. They'll self-seed and return year after year in suitable conditions. This is a truly low-maintenance green that provides fresh food during the hunger gap of late winter and early spring. The vitamin C content is exceptional, making it genuinely nutritious beyond just providing bulk. Established patches produce pounds of greens with zero care required. 13. Hippophae rhamnoids, sea buckthorn. Sea buckthorn is one of the most nutritious fruits on earth, packed with more vitamin C than oranges, rare omega-7 fatty acids, and powerful antioxidants. This hardy shrub thrives in conditions that challenge other fruit crops: cold, wind, salt spray, and poor soil. For zones 3 through 7, sea buckthorn offers an opportunity to grow a genuine superfood with minimal inputs. The shrubs are attractive and silvery, growing 6 to 12 feet tall with narrow gray-green leaves and thorny branches. The berries are bright orange, growing in dense clusters along the branches. You'll need both male and female plants for fruit production. One male can pollinate several females. The berries are extraordinarily tart and astringent when raw, but processing transforms them. Traditional uses include juices, jams, and sauces. The flavor is complex, intense citrus with tropical notes. The nutritional profile is genuinely impressive with exceptional levels of vitamins, minerals, and beneficial fatty acids. Sea buckthorn thrives in full sun and well-draining soil. It actually prefers poor, sandy soil and fixes nitrogen, improving fertility over time. The shrubs are remarkably drought-tolerant once established and require no fertilization. Plant bare root or container-grown shrubs in spring, spacing 6 to 8 feet apart. Establish one male for every 5 or 6 female plants. The shrubs begin producing in 3 to 4 years and increase yields annually. Harvesting is challenging due to thorns and the way berries cling to branches. Some growers freeze entire branches, then shake off frozen berries. Despite harvesting difficulty, the extraordinary nutrition and adaptability make sea buckthorn valuable for cold climate food production. 14. Viburnum lentago, nannyberry. Nannyberry is a native North American shrub that produces sweet, edible berries while serving as an attractive landscape plant. This multi-purpose shrub thrives in conditions from full sun to partial shade and tolerates a wide range of soils. For zones 2 through 8, nannyberry offers both beauty and food with remarkable resilience. The shrubs grow 15 to 20 feet tall with glossy green leaves that turn brilliant red-purple in fall. Clusters of white flowers in spring are followed by berries that ripen from green to pink to blue-black in fall. The berries are oval and about half an inch long. The ripe berries are genuinely sweet with complex flavor notes of raisins, dates, and bananas. They're best after frost, which enhances sweetness. The berries can be eaten fresh, dried like raisins, or cooked into jams, sauces, and baked goods. Nannyberry thrives in a wide range of conditions and is remarkably adaptable. It tolerates wet soil, drought once established, poor fertility, and urban pollution. The shrubs are virtually pest and disease-free and require no maintenance once established. Plant bare root or container specimens in spring or fall, spacing 10 to 15 feet apart. The shrubs establish quickly and begin producing fruit within 3 to 4 years. Yields increase as plants mature. This is a true permaculture crop, beautiful, productive, supporting wildlife and requiring zero care. The berries provide food when most other fruits are finished. For those seeking edible landscaping that actually works, nannyberry is exceptional. 15. Shepherdea argentea, silver buffalo berry. Silver buffalo berry is a spectacular native North American shrub that sustained indigenous peoples and early settlers across the Great Plains. This thorny shrub produces tart, nutritious berries while tolerating extreme cold, heat, drought, and poor soil. For zones 2 through 7, buffalo berry offers genuine food security in challenging conditions. The shrubs grow 6 to 12 feet tall with striking silvery foliage and thorny branches. The berries are bright red, growing in dense clusters along the stems. Like sea buckthorn, you'll need male and female plants for fruit production. The berries are extremely tart and astringent when raw, but transform beautifully when processed. Traditional indigenous preparation involved whipping the berries into a foam called Indian ice cream, a unique preparation that creates a light, creamy dessert. The berries make exceptional jellies, sauces, and beverages. Buffalo berry is nitrogen-fixing and actually thrives in poor, dry soil. The shrubs tolerate temperatures from 50 degrees to 110 degrees and are among the most climate-resilient fruiting plants available. They require no fertilization, minimal water, and zero pest management. Plant bare root shrubs in spring, spacing 8 to 10 feet apart. Establish one male for every 5-6 females. The shrubs begin producing in 3 to 4 years, with increasing yields as they mature. Harvesting involves spreading tarps beneath shrubs and shaking branches. The ripe berries fall easily. This is a true survival crop that produces reliable food in conditions that challenge conventional fruits. The wildlife value is also exceptional, supporting birds and beneficial insects. 16. Helianthus tuberosus, Jerusalem artichoke sunchoke. Jerusalem artichokes are neither from Jerusalem nor artichokes. They're sunflower tubers, native to North America, that sustained indigenous peoples for millennia. These knobby tubers are remarkably productive and virtually indestructible, thriving in conditions that challenge other crops. A single tuber planted in spring can produce 10 to 20 pounds by fall. The plants are tall and impressive, reaching 8 to 12 feet with bright yellow sunflowers in late summer. Underground, they produce clusters of knobby tubers that can be white, red, or purple, depending on variety. The tubers have a unique, nutty, sweet flavor similar to artichoke, hearts with crisp, juicy texture when raw. They can be eaten raw, roasted, sautéed, or added to soups. The tubers contain inulin rather than starch, making them valuable for diabetics, but potentially gas-producing for some people. Sunchokes thrive in zones 3 through 9 and grow in virtually any soil. They're remarkably drought-tolerant, pest-resistant, and productive with zero fertilization. The aggressive spreading means they should be planted where naturalization is acceptable or contained. Plant tubers 4 inches deep and 18 inches apart in spring. The plants establish quickly and produce heavily by fall. Harvest after frost or leave tubers in ground and dig as needed through winter. The productivity is staggering. Individual plants commonly produce 10+ pounds of tubers. This makes sunchokes one of the most calorie-productive crops available. They're also beautiful, supporting pollinators with late-season flowers. This is permaculture at its finest. Productive, resilient, and virtually maintenance-free. 17. Pediomelum esculentum, prairie turnip. Prairie turnip was called timsila by the Lakota and was one of the most important foods of Great Plains indigenous peoples. This deep-rooted perennial produces starchy, nutritious tubers while surviving extremes of heat, cold, and drought that would devastate conventional crops. The plant is remarkably resilient and deserves recognition as a true climate-adapted food. The plants grow low and spreading with compound leaves and spikes of purple flowers. The taproot develops slowly, reaching depths of 2 to 3 feet with an enlarged, turnip-like tuber at the base. The tubers can reach the size of a fist after several years of growth. The fresh tubers are crisp and slightly sweet, with a flavor reminiscent of turnips and carrots. Traditionally, they were braided into strings and dried for storage, developing an intensely sweet, starchy flavor. Dried prairie turnips can be rehydrated or ground into flour. The plant thrives in zones 3 through 7 and requires well-draining soil and full sun. It's extraordinarily drought-tolerant once established and fixes nitrogen, improving soil fertility. The deep taproot makes it virtually impossible to kill. Prairie turnip is challenging to cultivate from seed and establishes slowly. Traditional harvesting involved carefully digging tubers while leaving part of the root intact to regenerate. Modern cultivation is still being developed, but interest is growing in this heritage food. This is a plant that sustained entire civilizations through brutal conditions. While not yet widely available, efforts to bring prairie turnip back into cultivation deserve support. This represents genuine food sovereignty and climate adaptation. 18. Atriplex spp, saltbush. Saltbush species are remarkable plants that thrive in saline soils where most crops fail completely. Various species have been used as food by indigenous peoples across arid regions worldwide. These shrubby plants produce nutritious leaves while tolerating drought, heat, poor soil, and salt levels that would kill conventional vegetables. The plants grow as spreading shrubs 2 to 6 feet tall, depending on species, with gray-green leaves often covered in silvery scales. The leaves have a naturally salty flavor from the plant's salt-concentrating ability. Young saltbush leaves can be eaten fresh in small amounts or cooked as greens. The salty flavor means they work well as seasoning or mixed with other greens. Traditional indigenous preparation involved using them as flavoring in cooking or drying and grinding them as a salt substitute. Saltbush thrives in zones 4 through 10, depending on species, and grows in conditions that challenge most plants. They tolerate saline soil, alkaline conditions, drought, and extreme heat. The plants actually improve saline soils by removing salt from deep layers and depositing it on the surface where it can be washed away. Plant seeds or cuttings in spring in full sun. The plants establish slowly but become remarkably resilient once rooted. They require no fertilization and minimal water once established. For gardens with challenging soil conditions, particularly salinity or alkalinity, saltbush offers an opportunity to produce food where conventional crops fail. The plants also provide excellent wildlife habitat and erosion control. This is true adaptive agriculture for difficult conditions. 19. Amelanchier spp. Serviceberry, Juneberry. Serviceberries are native North American shrubs or small trees that produce delicious berries while serving as beautiful landscape plants. These adaptable plants thrive from zone 2 through 9 and tolerate a remarkable range of conditions. The berries taste like sweet blueberries with almond notes and were staples for indigenous peoples across the continent. The plants grow as multi-stemmed shrubs or small trees reaching 15 to 25 feet, depending on species. White flowers in early spring are followed by berries that ripen from green to red to dark purple in early summer. The fall foliage is brilliant orange and red. The ripe berries are genuinely delicious, sweet with complex flavors of blueberries, almonds, and cherries. They can be eaten fresh, dried like raisins, or cooked into pies, jams, and sauces. Indigenous peoples traditionally dried them and incorporated them into pemmican. Serviceberries thrive in full sun to partial shade and adapt to various soils, from sandy to clay. They're remarkably drought-tolerant once established, cold-hardy, and pest-resistant. The plants require virtually no maintenance and produce reliably year after year. Plant bare root or container specimens in spring or fall, spacing according to mature size. The plants begin producing fruit within 2 to 3 years, with increasing yields as they mature. Netting may be necessary, as birds love these berries. This is edible landscaping at its finest: beautiful flowers, delicious fruit, spectacular fall color, and zero maintenance. Serviceberries deserve a place in every climate-appropriate garden for their combination of ornamental value and reliable food production. 20. Ilex vomitoria, Yaupon holly. Yaupon holly is the only native North American plant that naturally contains caffeine. This evergreen shrub was used by southeastern indigenous peoples to prepare a ceremonial caffeinated beverage long before European contact. The leaves make an excellent tea that's naturally caffeinated, rich in antioxidants, and completely sustainable to harvest from your own garden. The plants grow as dense, evergreen shrubs 15 to 20 feet tall with small glossy leaves and bright red berries on female plants. The shrubs are attractive year-round and work beautifully as hedges or specimen plants. The leaves contain caffeine and theobromine, the same stimulant in chocolate, and make a smooth, naturally sweet tea without the bitterness of traditional tea or coffee. The flavor is clean and pleasant with no astringency. Young leaves have the highest caffeine content. Yaupon thrives in zones 7 through 10 and tolerates a wide range of conditions from wet to dry soil, sun to shade. The plants are remarkably adaptable, drought-tolerant once established, and virtually pest and disease-free. Plant container specimens in spring or fall. The shrubs establish quickly and can be pruned to maintain desired size and shape. Leaves can be harvested year-round without harming the plant. Simply snip small branches and dry the leaves. For a homegrown, sustainable caffeine source, Yaupon is unmatched. The plants are beautiful, useful, and remarkably resilient. This represents reclaiming a native beverage tradition while producing something genuinely valuable in your own landscape. These 20 forgotten food plants represent genuine climate resilience and food security. They've sustained humanity through challenges far greater than anything modern gardens face. If this inspired you to diversify beyond conventional crops, show some love with that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into practical, resilient gardening.